fall in love. I don't care about you and him. I don't care about what has been. I only care about your soft skin, cause we're still sleeping in my head. I don't care about you and him. I don't care about what has been. I only care about your soft skin, cause we're still sleeping in my head.
Hey, hello, I'm JulieJo. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Feel free to hit the like button if you enjoy the video. You can hit the bell button if you want to get notified when I post. And most importantly, you can hit the subscribe button. That would be awesome. Of course, only if you're feeling wild today. If you're not new here, welcome back. I'm so glad that you're back. Today, we're going to be watching a Plexus video. I have not covered Plexus very much, so I'm very excited to watch this video today. It is a long video. I don't think I'm going to put this in two parts. I think I'm just going to film the whole thing, put the whole video out, and it's just going to be like an hour. Before we get started with the video, really quick, just go ahead and follow. Before we get started with the video, go ahead and follow my Instagram and my TikTok. I am walkin_on_AlexaPro across all of my social medias, which is just 2. And then here on YouTube, I'm just JulieJo. I did get my hair dyed. Really, I just got a lightener in my roots, whatever these are called. So if you're wondering why I look different, that's why.
Two rock stars, what's going on? Emily Roberts here. Super excited for our guest speaker tonight, Diamond Ambassador Rainey Anderson. She has quite an incredible story. She started this business unexpectedly as a single mom, and she has gone diamond and has just shared her heart with me, and I can't wait for her to share her heart with you. We're going to talk about mindset. We're going to talk about the thing that controls our world, right? Everything that goes on up in here. She's going to talk about that, and I think it is so up her alley because she's such an eloquent, sweet person, and you are.
So I need to do this for now. So something that I thought about the other day when I was thinking about mindset and MLMs is I actually don't think that like mindset or personal development or whatever you want to call that in MLMs is that. I mean, you can work on your mindset, you can, work on personal development or whatever outside of MLMs, and you're doing that. But in MLMs, in my opinion, it's indoctrination for the MLM. I don't think it's really personal development to make you better or mindset stuff to make you a better person. I think it's just so that they can indoctrinate you into staying in the MLM longer. Now, I'm not saying no one grows in MLMs and comes out better, but I think it's rare or just not as often as people think. I truly believe that it is a type of indoctrination, in my opinion.
You're going to see exactly why she is a diamond in our company. So, Rainey, I am going to spotlight you, my friend, and I'm just going to let you take over.
Excellent. Well, thank you so very much. Emily is so sweet. We've had several opportunities to visit, not for long periods of time, but I absolutely adore her. And I think her heart is so sweet, and she brags on y'all so much. Her heart is for y'all, and I cannot wait to have this opportunity to visit with you, to pour into you, and hopefully leave you a little bit better than you joined the call today. So,
can you not pour into me? I greatly appreciate if you just didn't do that. Okay. Don't forget to leave your commentary below on what you think of this video. I love to see what y'all have to say about it. I don't get everything. I miss some opportunities, and y'all have great thoughts. So let me know what you think about it below.
Like Emily said, my name is Rainey Anderson, and y'all, I have the privilege of being a diamond ambassador with the company. So I joined Plexus as an ambassador back in April of 2013, but my story does not start there. I was a customer for 6 months before I joined the company. And I literally did not even realize that Plexus was a network marketing opportunity because I was one of those moms that Celeste Gwynn recommended to Jen Hawkins to buy the product from. And so I did just that for 6 months. Again, I thought it was a family-owned business. I thought Jen's grandpa was stirring up some Plexus powder in his basement, had zero inclination that this was network marketing. And that just goes to, there's a learning lesson there. Maybe I should have known that this was an opportunity to make money before that 6-month mark. But I can see some of you, and can we just, since you're muted and I don't have volume on you, can we just maybe jazzy hands it or shake our heads in agreement if y'all would just agree that life just happens? Yeah, life happens, right? And so,
Yeah, I mean, life does happen. Like, it just happens. Pretty sure that's we can all kind of agree that life just happens. I think that's just okay. And such a, like, for me, that was so weird. I was like, yeah, I guess. It's kind of like, the grass is green. Can we all just agree, like, the grass is green? Not your dead grass. I'm talking about real green grass. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, yeah, I guess we can, because it is. I don't know.
6 months into my health journey, life happened to me in a big way. And like Emily said, I was all of a sudden faced with the fact that I was going to have to raise my daughter on my own. And let me paint that picture for you guys. I was 40 years old, don't have my college degree, had not worked in over 10 years. So if I share with you guys that I was scared, that was a complete understatement. So I did what I think any person in that position would do. And number one, I prayed.
I would just like to say that this is the kind of person that they prey on a lot. But I want to say I'm just really glad that it worked out for her. And I know that sounds weird, but like, it is so rare, and most people in her position would just have lost money and would have been in a horrible place, right? Even worse than before with MLMs. But you know what? Good for her. It worked out for her. Sadly, for the majority of people, it won't. And I have Plexus like income disclosure statement. It's not like an income disclosure statement. It's not what you think it is, but we can talk about it in a little bit. Let's keep listening. So I just wanted to say, like, good, it worked for her, but it won't for the majority of people. And those women who were in her position, that she understands, you know, that horrible fear, that's being scared, someone who doesn't have a college degree, someone who hasn't worked for 10 years, right? Single mom, all of that. She's been there before, and she's putting people in that position, and she understands people in that position, how they feel. And in my opinion, they're just going to leave worse off, which is so sad, which is so devastating.
Number two, I got to interviewing, because we're trained in this world that we go get a job. We go find, work. We work outside of the home. And that's exactly what I did. Now, I'll share with you as well that I was very, very fortunate that I was offered a job fairly immediately. The problem is that the job was about 45 minutes from my home. And that's if there was no traffic. And the thought of that just didn't sound so awesome to me, because all of a sudden that routine of being able to take Sadie to school and pick her up all of a sudden was a luxury. And I didn't want to give that luxury up. So I didn't take the job. And it was a real bold move not to take that job, because I also want to share with you guys, because it is very important to this story, that offer I was made was a sales position, and it was a 6-figure a year income. So it was an answer to my problem. But
I don't like that she's saying this story, and here's why. She's letting people think that it's okay to not take a job to do network marketing. She's saying, look what I did. This is my story. Maybe it can be yours too. Now, she's saying that straight up? Not exactly, or not yet. I don't know. But this is one of those times where I go, read between the lines, because that's what she's kind of like trying to give off. A lot of times that's what the why is for, right? To manipulate the situation and pull on the emotions and be relatable. I'm not saying that her position she was not in a difficult position. Of course she was absolutely in a difficult position. But also feel like we might be missing a little of the story when it comes to the job and her just not taking it. I don't know. But yeah, so that's my thoughts. I would love to hear yours.
it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel good. And I decided wasn't going to take it. Now, why I still cannot with reason explain that to you, other than I truly do feel that God had his hand on the back of my neck, kind of like we do with our kids sometimes, no, you'll go this way. And I really do feel like that's where he had me, because I just knew that that opportunity wasn't the one for me to still be able to be a good mama. I still didn't realize about Plexus, so I did continue to interview. But like many of us, maybe prior to Plexus, I found myself on Facebook just scrolling. And I happened to see Celeste post that what she was able to do with her first month's salary with this little company called Plexus. And of course that perked my ears, because I already loved the products. In fact, I had to stop the products because, again, money was tight and I just didn't know how to even justify spending any extra money on myself. I'll be real honest, I missed my products greatly. So I wanted to figure out how I could start those back up again as well. So the cool thing is that Celeste and I chatted for about 2 or so hours that evening. I got an education that, yes, this was a business opportunity, and she validated to me that I could possibly do something with this. And so without much thought, and I mean, I'll say within 24, maybe 48 hours, I signed up as a Plexus ambassador with her. That was in late April of 2013. And y'all, it's hard to believe that it was almost 4 years ago. But I look back on that time and I realized that we were some mamas that
4 years ago, this must be an old training. Also, shout out to the person who sent it to me. Thank you. But she got in Plexus early, and that's probably one of the reasons that she is so high up. Celeste Gwynn also is like the OG of Plexus, like the OG gal. When you think of Arbonne, she's like the Cecilia Stoll of Arbonne, I think. Or like when you think of Monat, she is the Jacqueline Ortega of Monat, from the beginning. So she signed up in 2013 and was super successful, obviously, because it was early on in the company. And now they're portraying it as though like people can do the same thing that she did, when in reality, that's not true. That's just one of the perks of being in early, I guess.
Just believed in these products, and we just knew to do what we knew to do, and that was to share with people, because we had such great success and admiration for these products. I know that might sound weird, but they truly did change our lives from a health perspective. And I'll just pause for a second. If y'all hear some, we say this is real life. If y'all hear growling in the background, it's because I have 2 puppies that this is witching hour. I say this is their, the storm before the calm. And so it's a lot easier to have them back here with me than it is to have them banging on my office door to get in. So if you do hear them growling, I promise you I'm fed. I'm not hungry. It's just my dogs in the background acting a little crazy. So, anyways, but I'm going back to my story. So again, Mama's just sharing, loving the products, and believing in one another that we could do something with this. Now, keep in mind, at the time, there were no Diamond Ambassadors, so we really didn't know what that meant from a financial blessing. We didn't have charts out that showed what the average income was, because, again, no one was a diamond yet. We just knew what Celeste was doing, and she was blazing the trail here in this Collin County area, and we all just jumped in with her. We were super excited about it. And so, again, not knowing if it was fast or slow or realistic or unrealistic, I just looked at the compensation chart and said, I want to be that diamond thing in a year, and set my goal for that, not knowing, again, if that was realistic or not realistic. And so that absolutely happened within 1 year of me joining Plexus. So in April of 2014, I became a Diamond Ambassador with the company, attended my very first convention as a Diamond Ambassador in Dallas, Texas. And what's funny, y'all, is that year I was a top earner with the company. And when that happens, they give you a suite. And my suite actually overlooked the company that offered me that job. So it was kind of that full circle moment, you know, it just felt like, wow. I mean, in that moment, I just had that realization of, wow, that's where I could have been. And y'all, that building had very few windows. It seemed like a prison. And I just remember thinking how very fortunate and how very blessed I was to have been brave in those moments, to have turned away what was a sure thing and jumped in with this opportunity called Plexus. And I've never looked back.
I don't think that's a brave thing. Luckily, it was early on in the company, so she was able to be a diamond in 1 year. But if it was nowadays, she would have been screwed, and she would have missed an opportunity that would have definitely changed her and her daughter's life. So lucky for her, it was early on. But in today's world, this idea that she's pretty much saying, like, you can give up that job and you can do it. You can be brave, step out of your comfort zone. It's not stepping out of your comfort zone. It's not being brave. It's being ignorant. It's more than that. However, it's not the person's fault completely because they're being lied to and deceived, but there is a part of it where they go, let me look into this. I always recommend doing your research, checking it out before doing really anything with any company. So it's just kind of sad that she's portraying it as like, you can do this too. How I did it, you can do it. But no, it's not true.
It's been a major blessing. You know, we say that in this opportunity that we're blessed with health, we have the potential of being blessed financially, but then we make these amazing friendships. And I hope and I pray that, you know, those of you that are on the call that have been with Plexus for a little bit, that you've had the opportunity to experience that. And then those of you, I hear we have some new people as well. And just kind of raise your hand if you're new. Are you fairly new with Plexus? Okay. All right. So hopefully you get that opportunity to start making some real deep friendships in this, because I promise you that opportunity is here. So I mention that because through this opportunity, I've been blessed with the same fortune of deepening and strengthening the relationships that I've had and making new ones. I have an ambassador on my team who's an emerald. Her name is Heather Rice. And through Plexus, we've grown even closer and really like sisters in many respects. Through that, and through growing closer, she introduced me to one of her friends, who I will be celebrating my 2nd year anniversary with in January. So yeah, right, I know. So for me, Plexus has been a true Cinderella story in a lot of respects. My husband adopted my daughter back just almost a year ago. And so our family is certainly complete. And I have every reason to thank Plexus for this, you know, the friendships, the opportunity, the blessings. And so, you know, when I say you've made a really good choice to be a part of this company, yes, he is very awesome, and he is a good man. And so sorry for the growling. I'm going to have to get on them in a second because they're starting to get into my space and it's becoming annoying. But anyways, yeah, he is a really good guy. And to take on one that's not your own biologically, I think speaks volumes of a person. But, you know, we've had the opportunity to bond as a family and find our new normal. And, you know, I'm very grateful to the umbrella of Plexus. Of course, grateful to God for bringing that vehicle in our lives. But with you all saying yes, you're brave and you're special, and you've said yes to a bigger life. And so
A bigger life. They said yes to a bigger life. This story that she's portraying, good for her. That's awesome, you know, good for her. But the issue is she doesn't realize that she's damaging other people and their thoughts on Plexus, because it is not going to be that for them. There's a 0.1% chance that this is going to be that for them. I mean, I wish I was kidding. Is that my opinion? Sure. But also I think that's kind of true. Like, in other words, slim to none that they're going to have that kind of experience with Plexus. Why? Well, I'll just show you their income disclosure statement. Let me see if I can get it really quickly. I think I might have to make it a PDF. Okay, so here's Plexus income disclosure statement. This is it. This is what they're giving us. So how much can you earn? The top 1% of brand ambassadors made an average of $37,553 annually. Wait. I just did not read that. I didn't really read it. I was just like, oh, I'll just read it on the video. So the top 1%, see that number? See that finger? 1% made an average of $37,553 a year. 50% of the top 1% made more than $14,875 in a year. The top 10% of brand ambassadors made an average of $5,081 a year. 50% of the top 10% made more than $960 in a year. The average earnings of all brand ambassadors for the year, of all, even the ones that make above $37,000 a year, which for a lot of people, that's a lot of money. But for what they say you can do, that's not that much money. Especially where I live in Austin, Texas, that you can barely live on that. The average earnings of all brand ambassadors in a year was $544. And what's funny is their weight loss combos are starting at $150 a month. I'm pretty sure you get it. It's like 30 days worth of stuff, and then you have to buy the next month. This is awful. The top 1% made an average of $37,553 a year. Oh my gosh. So no, it's not a great opportunity. Not even a little bit.
What I want to do is share with you guys the importance of your mindset and really break this down into what I call 4 mental enemies of success that can block your success. And so what I'd like to do is kind of drill down into some training. I take lots of sips of water because as I talk, my voice becomes a little bit dry. But y'all just take a minute to grab your pen and paper because I think you're going to want to write some of what I say down. And again, I pray that you find this information valuable because I'm a firm.
Just to prepare you, I want to remind you that she titled this Mental Enemies in Your Plexus Business. I am so intrigued. That was one of the reasons I did this video was because of the title. I was like, oh, okay, let's see.
Firm believer of what happens in between our 2 ears definitely sets the pace for how we will be in this business. So let's all take a drink of water and then we'll get into the training, okay? Okay, let's dig into this. So understanding the philosophies that we're about to talk about are crucial in your business because it's not a matter of if these blockers will come up, it's a matter of when. And the first mental enemy I want to talk to you all about tonight is the mental enemy of success called rejection. So we have expectations of the people in our life. You know, we approach our warm market typically first. And when they don't say yes, we become disappointed. Would y'all agree with that? Yeah, and have y'all had people in your close circle say no to you? Here's the thing, I have too, and I'm here to share with you. It's okay. So, you know, the more people that tell you no, the more that it hurts. But you will be told no often in this business, and I'm here to share with you that is part of your journey. We kind of fail our way to success. And, you know, when you have negative people in your life, we have to be careful of the opinion that we buy into, because the opinion you buy into is also the lifestyle that you buy into. So
when you have negative people in your life, you mean people that say no or reject joining your Plexus business or buying a product? That doesn't make them negative. Now, was she meaning it that way? I'm not sure, but I took it that way. So that doesn't make someone negative. What's interesting in MLMs, and I know if you've watched me before, or you watched some of my videos, you've seen these tons, or if you're on my TikTok or Instagram, you've seen these people, these top leaders in MLMs and not even top leaders, talk about how negative I am, or how I'm a bully, or how anyone like me is a bully and a hater and negative and hates my life. That's not true at all. I absolutely love what I do. I love this. I love my future position as an ultrasound technologist. I love it all. And I'm happy to be doing it all. Just because I criticize something that they do doesn't make me a hater. And using facts and data definitely doesn't make me a hater or a bully. I find intriguing when watching trainings like this is what they give the title negative to. Because one, negative isn't always a bad thing. Two, they're not really giving the title negative correctly. Just because someone doesn't want your product doesn't make you negative. But to them, it does. And then they give the narrative of don't surround yourself with negative people, insinuating to not surround yourself with those people anymore, even though they're your closest friends and family. And then at that point, you become so indoctrinated, I think is the right word, into this idea that you push all of them out, and the people you have left are people in Plexus, are people in that MLM that you're in. Look around. Who is speaking to you? Is it just people in your MLM? If so, you might be indoctrinated. Okay?
When we hear no, look at it as your vitamin. Look at it as your vitamin to success, if you will. The no's are your vitamin. And again, we fail our way to success. You know, sometimes in this business, I get a little, I like to have fun with people from time to time. And then, of course, it just depends on my mood and the person I'm speaking with. But have you ever been asked, oh, are you part of one of those pyramid schemes? Yeah, right. I have too. And so sometimes, again, depending on my mood, I might say, oh, yeah, those pyramid schemes. Yeah, you know, that thing. Oh, yeah, I'm at the top of one of those things. Or if you're not at the top of one of those things, you can say, I'm working my way to the top of one of those things. It'll be funny to see how you stop people in their tracks when you say that.
I actually think you're just like confirming that you're in a pyramid scheme. I'm at the top of one of those things. The point of the pyramid scheme? Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's right. Thank you for proving our point. And what's funny to me, watching Huns get so defensive is kind of entertaining sometimes because they just come up with the most wild things to say, and the logical fallacies that they exude is shocking. And it's sometimes it gives me a giggle. I'm not gonna lie. But if you want to know more about logical fallacies, I have a video of it. I don't know if I'm going to remember to put it up here. I'm going to try to. Anyway, I am so excited. Let's keep going.
But people who don't have dreams, y'all, they want to knock yours. It's amazing to me. It's so sad, but it's true that.
Oh, boo-hoo. I must not have any dreams because I'm knocking what you're doing. Oh my gosh. Stop it. Are you serious? I'm knocking what she's doing, so I don't have any dreams, and it's so sad. No! So condescending and also wrong. But I think she knows it's wrong. Or at least I hope she does.
Most people won't participate in their own rescue. I'm going to say that to you one more time because I really want it to sink in. It's sad, but it's true. Most people will not participate in their own rescue. And so what I want you to be confident about when they're saying that to you is,
did she say that most people won't participate in their own rescue? I'm sorry, I didn't know we were in the new Spider-Man movie. You hanging off the side of a bridge and need help? What do you mean rescue? This MLM is not a rescue for anyone. Oh. Wow, this is getting wild.
they're not saying no to you. They're saying no to themselves because they.
No, they're saying no to you. Sorry to pause it so quickly, but holy butts. They're saying straight up no. No to you.
They can't see themselves doing more. They can't see themselves doing the necessary work that it's going to take to be successful in this. But you're different. You're a risk taker. You've said yes to an opportunity here, just like I said to y'all earlier. You've said yes to a bigger life. You've said yes to providing for you and your family. And this makes you different. This makes you brave. This makes you special. And this makes you a part of something that I promise you can bless you, not just in your generation, but give you an opportunity for you to leave a legacy for generations to come. And I want you to think about that for a minute. It's not just about your four walls. What I love, absolutely love about network marketing is that this opportunity gives us the opportunity to be the people that God intended us to be. And I believe that God intended you to rock. It also gives you the opportunity to give more, and it gives you the opportunity to be better mamas, daddies, spouses, friends, sisters, daughters, sons. So, you know, we just have this opportunity to.
It gives you a better, it gives you an opportunity to be better moms, dads, daughters, sisters, sons, whatever. What? How? No, I'm not happy with that. This idea, and I say that all the time, this idea that blah, 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 I get tired of myself. I get tired of hearing myself. This idea that joining this MLM is going to make you a better mother, father, daughter, son, whatever, is not true. It actually will take you away from your children more, or your parents, or your family. And if you've experienced that, I want to hear below. What was your experience in that? Because for me, I spent the first year of my marriage doing MLM instead of hanging out with my husband. Was I successful? Yeah, decently successful. But did I miss the first year of my marriage? Yeah. I blame that on myself, obviously. But yeah, it does not make you better.
For us that I say, congratulations, you saw it differently. So, and again, you know, I say this to my team all the time, you're saying you're not fit to work for somebody else. And so that is incredibly important. When people say no to you, don't make them feel bad. Always leave that door open. It's incredibly important because I know y'all have heard this before, those of you that have been in this for even a period of time. I cannot tell you how many times someone has told me no, and they've come back and they've said, either they've said yes and then no because they gave up on themselves too quickly, or they just flat out said no for whatever reason, but then they continue to see the success of Plexus and the success that other people are having either on the products or with the business. And, you know, the curiosity just gets to them and they think, well, what if I could make something of this? So again, leave that door wide open. And how do you decrease the impacts of rejection? I'm here to tell you the cure to any inactivity in your business is activity, getting to work, doing those income producing activities. So again, activity is the cure for any problem that you might have in your business. So most people think that they're a serious business builder, and yet they're only contacting, you know, they think that to be a serious business builder, they need to contact, you know, a person a day or 2 to 3 people a day. And so I'm going to push back on you a little bit and say, is that really seriously business building when you know that if the average person takes at least 7 to 8 times for an exposure to this business, is contacting 2 or 3 people a day enough to propel your business into a place of momentum? And I'm assuming if you're on this call, you want to be in a place of momentum in your business if you're not already there. But how do we keep that momentum, right? We've got to go to work. We've got to create activity. And what I mean by activity is those income producing activities. Again, you know, when I say this, a lot of times people aren't even talking to one person a day, and yet they have the gumption to get frustrated in this business of why am I not growing, or what am I not, you know, why am I not seeing the fruits of my labor? Well, I'm here to tell you, you are, if you're only contacting one person a day. So we've got to look at our plans. We've got to get a little more serious about what we're doing, and we have to reach out more and create that activity for ourselves. And we wouldn't expect to get paid big money if we went to our JOVs and only worked 10 minutes a day. And it's the same thing in network marketing, right? We have to have realistic expectations. Do y'all ever feel like when you're on a Zoom call that you're kind of in the world of the Brady Bunch? I'm trying to look at each one of you, and like I feel like I'm, you know, Marsha Brady or Mama Brady really in this group, like looking around. But I am really trying to make eye contact with each of you. So if I look a little crazy on the playback, that's why, because I'm literally trying to look at each one of you for a reaction. So it's these simple disciplines that really compound our efforts in battling that mental enemy of rejection. So let's move on to the mental enemy number 2. And now we're going to talk about deception. So have you ever given a sample or shared a video to only not hear from that person ever again? Or be
That is so interesting that she's doing deception. Oh, okay. Okay, fine. I'll press play because I know we're all excited, but oh my gosh. I wonder how she's going to spin it. How do you think she's going to spin it? I don't know.
told, worse, that they're going to watch the video or they're going to take your sample and then they disappear. Or how about this example? You invite them to one of your meetings and they don't show up. It's like there's a Bermuda Triangle around that meeting space and they're lost in the abyss of lost potentials, right? So again, this is going to happen. It's happened to all of us, and I'm here to share with you that most people will not play an active part in their own rescue. They will play volunteer victim in their lives, and it's so very sad because they'll work jobs that they hate, they'll get paid barely enough, and then they'll pray that they don't lose those jobs. It's a crazy cycle, y'all. It's one that I don't get.
You're telling me $544 average from everyone in the company a year is better than their job? You're telling me that's better money? What? She's literally saying that they are the deceptive ones, the customers. Oh my gosh. Wrong. It's you. Used plunger. I'm bringing it back. Used plunger. She's giving me Cecilia Stoll vibes from Arbonne. Have you heard of Cecilia Stoll? She's giving me those vibes. She's like Arbonne's top leader. I actually think I mentioned her. I said Gwen is this Cecilia Stoll of Plexus pretty much. But she's giving me those vibes. She's talking the way that Cecilia Stoll talks. I cannot believe she said that my customers are deceptive. Oh my gosh. Used plunger.
So you have to understand that it's not intentional deception, but it is very much a part of what we go through. And again, we don't close the door on these individuals. We circle back around. You know, I tell people, so I just had this conversation last night, in fact, on a team call. And, you know, one of the questions was, how do you circle back around with someone who's basically gone radio silent? You know, they first expressed interest, and I see some heads nodding, so I get that you guys have been through this, right? So how do we circle back around with them? How do we get them back, you know, re-engaged?
You don't. You leave them alone. If they want it, they'll reach out. Just leave them alone. Boss babes are the worst at this because it's like their idea that no means not right now is not true. It means no.
Now, here's the reality. Sometimes they're just gone, y'all. Again, they're not saying no to you. They're saying no to themselves. But I love, and follow me here because I genuinely have a heart for people. But I also think we have to call people out when they don't follow up on what they say they're going to do.
Oh, so you're okay with calling people out for doing something shitty. But I'm the hater. Okay. All right. Okay. How am I the hater, but she's not? Their logic is out the window.
Because I'm a person of my word. If I say I'm going to be on Emily's call at 8 p.m., bar a true emergency, I'm going to be on that call. And even if I'm in an emergency, I'm going to figure out a way to get on that call or get a substitute on that call, right? So for me, and I think the older I get, the less tolerant I am of this. So what I do when someone tells me that they're going to be somewhere or show up or watch a video and they haven't, I simply say something like this. Hey, Emily, I know that we talked about your interest in Plexus, and I really felt like you were there with me. And I can tell by the fact that I haven't heard back from you that you're no longer interested in it. And I want to let you know that that's okay. But what I also want to let you know is that I'm not going to follow up with you anymore. I don't want this to be awkward for either one of us. And so I'm just going to simply scratch you off my list for now. Know that my door's open. If you change your mind, I'm here for you. But I'm going to move forward on this one because, again, I value you more than the awkwardness that's standing between us. What you've basically done is call them out on their bad behavior. You've let them know, I'm still here for you. I still love you. You've kind of ninja sliced them without leaving any marks, right? And so try it out, because I cannot tell you how many times I've utilized this tactic and how they followed up with me like, oh, girl, I'm so sorry. I just got busy. I was in that lost Bermuda Triangle of lost potentials. But literally they will follow back up with you. So, you try that as a tactic in following up. And then feel free to find me out there on Facebook and message me and let me know how it works for you. Again, when they disappear, when they deceive you, it's them just telling you it's not the right time. I know Emily has shared the coffee story with you. I know she has. I like that story so very much. I also like the story of the waitress that doesn't get upset when you don't accept dessert at the end of the meal. But let me also share with you, she's offered you that dessert after she's introduced herself, after she's told you told you how you're doing, how's your day. She's taken the rest of your order. She's invested in you. And so if I can share anything with you is get to know people, invest in them. Don't spill Plexus on them the very first time that you visit with them, because I think that they're more likely to be engaged with you once you've shown them that you have interest in them outside of, quote, sharing something with them.
But this is so deceptive, because the reason that you're showing interest, quote unquote, outside of Plexus or whatever, is so that they'll join your business. It's not because you actually want to be their friend, or you would try to be their friend if you weren't trying to sell them something. Maybe you would eventually been their friend. Maybe you would have been their friend. Who knows if you were in Plexus. But the reason for this, the motive behind the action, is so that they'll join the business or buy product, which is not okay.
All right, let's move on to the enemy number 3. And that one is called apathy. So apathy is a lack of interest or enthusiasm or even concern. And here's the deal. So this business for sure is a numbers game. You have to share this opportunity with so many people before you find your runners. This business by no means, for most of us, are grand slam hits. You build it one hit at a time, one swing at the bat at a time. So you've got to build relationships in this. And so we're gonna drill down into this apathy piece. Most ambassadors that are at a jewel level have personally sponsored anywhere from 50 to upwards of 100 personal level ones, okay? Now, most people experience attrition throughout their personal sponsoring. And so I would even go as far to say that those that you will lose about 3/4 of the people that you personally sponsor. Now, I don't want you newbies to freak out on that, but that is just the reality of this business. However, what do we do about that? So have you ever been so excited about someone who's joined your team and you think, this is the one. This is the one that's going to be my runner. They're going to run with me, only to lose them. What's worse is, right, they start off great. They start sponsoring. They start getting customers, and then they just disappear. That's the worst, right? And so what you have to do is you have to radically change your thought in regards to when you bring people on board. So you have to, within the first 72 hours of bringing somebody on board, roll up your sleeves with them. Treat them with a sense of urgency as if they're going to leave tomorrow, but they have the potential to be your next runner. I personally believe that when people sign up for this business, their excitement level is like a level 10 in this. They have hope. They want to make something of this. They want the products to work for them. They want that first paycheck. Their belief level's probably somewhere around a 2. So in order to combat that apathy, we've got to get the belief level closer to the excitement level. Now, where we get very dangerous is when the excitement level drops, we stand a real chance of losing them. So how do we do this? How do we even this out a bit? I'm a firm believer that you get them plugged in. You validate this business to them as quickly as you possibly can. You are going to treat this new ambassador as if they're an infant. So those of us that are mamas, or those of us that are babysat in life, you know that a baby knows nothing. We have to teach them how to sleep. We have to teach them how to eat. We're changing their diapers. We're doing everything for them. Your ambassador is your brand new baby. So what you perceive as common sense is not common sense. They need to, and not only do you need to go tell them to make a list of people, you may need to help them jog their memory of who they know.
I'll give her that she is open to helping her downline, because we know many people who are not. But again, this phrase of like, they're like your newborn baby type of thing is telling me that you're going to spend a lot of time helping them, that you're going to give them a lot of your attention, and that you need to give that to them or they might leave. That's kind of what I'm getting from what she's saying, which means it takes away from your family and your friends and doing other things outside of MLM. Usually when you're in an MLM, the MLM is your life. That was my experience. I'd love to hear yours if you want to share.
Because I don't know about you guys, but a lot of times when I talk to someone, they're like, I don't know very many people. But did you know the average person has a network of over 200 people? So they know people, but you may have to go, okay, we're rolling up our sleeves. Okay, let's think of everyone you know. You may have to truly treat them like that infant. And y'all, it's going to be work. It's not always going to be fun, because in your mind, you're like, you should know this. You should know how to make a list of people. But I promise you, if you invest in them and they see that you have built time and relationship into them, they will not quit you. Because I promise you, at the end of the day, people will quit an opportunity all day long. They will not quit a friend. And that is super important in building the belief of, to combat that apathy. But in addition,
yeah, so she's saying make sure to act like you're their friend, so that when they try to leave or want to leave, they feel guilty and they won't. They come off acting like they're really nice about that. I mean, not so much her, like she's, kind of being straight up with the deception. But this right here is pretty, they will leave a business, but they won't leave a friend. It's pretty much saying, act like you're their friend, so they feel guilty and they won't leave you.
To build your business and to build a strong team camaraderie. Again, in my opinion, I'll move heaven and earth to get that person in their first paycheck. I believe that that's how you build belief in this business. That's how you validate this business, is getting them in that first paycheck. I don't care if that first paycheck is $25. I assure you that they will start to see, because what do you have to do to get $25 in Plexus? It's like not that much, right? So they'll realize that too. And then they're like, well, what if I gave, a little bit more effort? What would that paycheck look like? I guarantee you, when you roll up your sleeves and you help them, they will do that. Feel like how I have my notes here. I tend to get off task really easily. And so this helps Mama Bear stay on task here. So again, with some apathy, you're going to hear the excuse of, I'm shy. I don't really know anyone. Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all, stop allowing a piece of your personality to hold you back from this business. At the end of the day, I call that ego. And a lot of times we just look at ego as, I'm arrogant, I'm pompous, I know I'm great. There's a flip side to ego, and it's allowing a piece of your personality to hold you back from being who God intended you to be. So, don't allow that to be a piece of your journey.
Don't allow you or your conscience say that you shouldn't be doing this, because God wants you to do it. Don't let your conscience get in your way. Don't let your conscience block you. God wants you here. Freaking barfaroni, man.
Step out of your comfort zone, because I guarantee you anybody that's had success in this business has had to step out of their comfort zone on one level or another. You know, yours may not be talking to people, it may be public speaking, but I promise you at some point in your journey you will have to step out of your comfort zone, and it's a practice. It's a practice. You know, conversation is a practice. Relationship building is a practice. And so as soon as we start doing that and applying that to our business, you will see success. Let me make sure I've covered everything on this. We've talked about stepping out of our comfort zone. Again, you know, being uncomfortable is part of network marketing. And, you know, and that is what I have to say about that. So number 4, how are we doing on time? We're good. We're doing good. Yes. Okay. Last one is attrition. So attrition is defined as the process of gradually losing the effectiveness of someone or something through a sustained attack or pressure. What's the pressure? It's these enemies. It's these mental enemies of success. It's the blockers. So we need to, first of all, identify those. So have you ever had someone join your team and they're like kind of a bragger, like, yo, you don't know who just joined your team. I'm going to take this to like 40 quadruple diamond. Like, that's not even a rank, right? But that's your red flag right there. Okay. That person's going to, like, you're not going to see them ever again. You know, I built this business brick by brick. Again, not any grand slams. They were all singles, and we have to string them all together to find success. It doesn't matter your stage of your business, attrition always lingers. We know that this business is built in plateaus, so it's getting to one level, leveling out, and then building in higher stages. And so why attrition? I am convinced that it's mind over mattress, meaning that their why isn't there. There's not something pulling them out of that bed every morning to make this work for them.
The idea, wow, there I go again saying that phrase, holy butts. They want your why to be like a staple in the paper, like, oh, we're together. You're not leaving now, because your why is so intense. It's like, always remember your why. They want you to make it emotional. They want you to have lots of feelings, and honestly, maybe a little triggering. And they want you to remember every time you say your why, what your dream is with this, so that it's easier to keep you in. They're like, if you're ever feeling like you want to give up, if you're ever feeling overwhelmed, if you're ever feeling this, things that are important to think about when you're going through them, they want you to remember your why so that you don't leave.
They never determined what that is. So what can you do to minimize attrition? You've got to start working hard to serve others. We talked about people won't quit a friend. You've got to get your people plugged in, not only to you, but I would think that it is crucial to get them plugged into sideline relationships, even encourage them to make other mentor relationships through Plexus, and you have to get them to show up. And so I love, and I don't know if you all have ever heard this little trick, if you ever have somebody that you're trying to get to show up to a meeting and it's one that's in person, ask them to bring something, you know, even if it's as little as a bag of ice. So get them to commit, because if they feel like something's on, like, oh, she's going to need that bag of ice, I've got to show up. That's a way that you can make sure that you keep them with you without, you know, having to truly babysit them. But the power of association absolutely builds belief, and a person's excitement level is super high when they join. You know, when they get close to that diminishing, that's when you're dangerously close of losing them. So they say you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So make sure we're getting them plugged into positive people, people that are uplifting. Make sure you're one of those people.
Make sure we get them plugged into 5 people in the MLM company so that they won't leave, so that they'll be indoctrinated every single day. They'll be in an echo chamber. Oh gosh, the cult tactics, overwhelming.
So at times we need to check yourself. You know, the simple phrase of just telling somebody that you believe in them is incredibly powerful, because do you realize that most people don't have that person in their life that simply says, I believe in you? I took a lady to lunch just last week, and she's been my customer for I don't know how long with Plexus, and she's toyed with the idea back and forth of joining the business, and her husband has been very, very ill. He just recently received a liver transplant, and so life has gotten in the way for her, but she has decided that this is something that she wants to do business-wise. She's beat down, y'all. And I just simply looked across at the table from her, and I said to her, I said, you know, blank, I believe in you. And you guys, I think I was reminded at that moment the power of those words. She broke down and she cried. And I mean, like ugly tears, you know, like that ugly face cry. And she said, I can't tell you how long it's been since someone has said that to me. And so just simply the power of those words can really change a person's perspective on themselves and their ability, again, their mindset between their 2 ears of what they believe in themselves. So be that person for someone. You know, don't forget that in this. So to recap what we've talked about tonight, we have talked about the blockers in this business that can get between our heads. And those are rejection, deception, apathy, and attrition. Find your ratio. Find how many it takes for you to be successful at this business. Don't give up. You know, you just really need a couple of serious people that want to do this with you. A lot of times we hear the personal sponsors of a successful ambassador in this company, and we get a little overwhelmed.
But you literally said it was a numbers game. It is a numbers game. The more people under you, usually the more money you make.
And I know, especially for those of you that are new, that can be, you know, pretty overwhelming. But do you have someone that believes in you? Do you have someone that you believe in? Could you simply just invite them to this opportunity and say, I want to do this with you. We could run this together. And then if they know somebody, you've got your team, you know, and you start there. Change is inevitable, but your growth is optional. And I pray that you choose to grow with Plexus within this organization. If you did half of what you think you're capable of doing, guys, you will rock the socks off of this business.
Sadly, you won't. You can work as hard as someone in the world can work. You can work as hard as anyone else ever. You can work harder than her when she started and still not get to where she's at or anywhere close, because that's how the multi-level marketing business structure is made.
That, you know, I don't know many of you on this call. In fact, I would say I don't know any of you on this call. But the fact that you said yes to this business makes you absolutely special. It makes you unique and different and brave. And your matter of success isn't if you can do it.
There's that love bombing, right? The love bombing of you are magnificent. All the junk she just said. Love bombing them.
If you can do it. I'm here to tell you that you can. It's if you'll stick with it long enough. That's where your success will be. But I promise you it's not always easy, but it's so worth it. And I know that you've heard that. So I appreciate y'all so very much for allowing me to share a part of my journey with you, as well as the importance of your mindset in this business and maybe some specific things. You know, we talk about the power of being positive, but also talk specifically about what those enemies could be, because I think when we're prepared for them, then we can handle them much better.
Alrighty, so what y'all think? Let me know below. Any comment helps push this video to the algorithm, helps other people see it, especially people in Plexus, which I think is super crucial. Go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe. Please hit the subscribe button if you can. I would greatly appreciate that. I am so glad that you were here. Thank you for watching this video, and I have so many more videos where that came from. I'm going to try to remember to link a playlist up here with a ton of videos. I have over like 220 videos. So I hope you have the most amazing morning, afternoon, evening, and night, wherever you are in this world, and whenever you're watching. I'll see you next time.
Show you what I'm all about. Make up for what we lost. Tonight is the night that we're gonna fall in love. I don't care about you and him. I don't care about what has been. I only care about yours.